Please rise for invocation.
In progress.
Good evening, Mayor, honorable council members, and everyone here. Let us join in prayer. Gracious God, I thank you for leaders of a city who want divine oversight and guidance and wisdom. Bless them and their families. Bless everyone here tonight and their families. And the city, Lord, protect us from COVID. Protect us from anything and everything that comes against good. We thank you for this beautiful place in which we get to live and serve. And we pray for your wisdom tonight for the council and your peace to be upon this city. In the name of my Lord Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilmember Foley.
Here.
Councilmember Tremont.
Here.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bosco.
Here.
Mayor Burnett.
Here. Matt, a little guidance from you. Obviously, we've got a physical quorum. We have one council person attending virtually. Scott, I appreciate you looking out for all of our help in doing that. If somebody can hit the word "got it" on the screen, so I can. Now we can see Scott's face here. Okay. Matt, you said we needed a motion, so I can make sure that of some sort to make sure that Scott's able to participate.
Right, so Councilman Stiltner, I'm recommending that motion be made to allow Councilman Stiltner to participate remotely due to a medical illness that prohibits him from being here physically tonight. If we have a physical quorum, we can continue. He would be able to participate just like he would if he were here, but we'll need a motion approving his virtual attendance.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a lot of seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Scott, not only are you here, now you're really here.
Now it's official.
Appreciate it. Well, it has been the tradition, I don't want to say a happy tradition. It's not necessarily a happy tradition. It's an important tradition now. Every September that we go gold in the city of Port Orange. And with that, it is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and most everybody knows that October we go pink for breast cancer awareness. Well, for the children, we go gold in September. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to first read a proclamation and then I'm going to present it. Whereas the American Cancer Fund for the Children and Kids Cancer Connection report, cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among U.S. children between infancy and age 15. This tragic disease is detected in nearly 15,000 of our country's young people in each and every year. And whereas 1 in 5 of our nation's children loses their battle with cancer. That's 1 in 5. Whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have long-lasting chronic conditions as a result of the treatments they experience. And 60% of childhood cancers are diagnosed before age 5, meaning that even if they're not a short-term casualty, it follows them a lifetime. Whereas the American Cancer Society, the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection provide a variety of vital patient psychosocial services to children undergoing cancer treatment at participating hospitals throughout the country, thereby enhancing the quality of life for these children and their families. Whereas childhood cancer spares no ethnic group, no socioeconomic class or geographic region, and it is essential to raise awareness and the funding for pediatric cancer research. And finally, whereas throughout this month, we remember the children and families whom lives have forever altered by childhood cancer, as well as the dedicated professionals, organizations, individuals, and communities who support and care for them. Now, therefore, I, Donald O. Burnett, Mayor of the City of Port Orange, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2021 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Port Orange, and urge all citizens of this community to support cancer patients, survivors, their families, and caregivers, to remember the lives of those that we've lost, and to encourage those who are working to improve survival rates and for treatment. And with my signature and the seal of the city, it is declared on this day and in this place that September, Port Orange once again is going gold in support. Laura, if you join me. That's okay. I gave him a hug earlier. I didn't let go. Once again, I present this proclamation to you on what I think is both a happy and sad occasion, but we have to continue to talk about it year in, year out. I think it's important, and I do consider it somewhat happy that the city of Port Orange and its citizens will never forget. But at the same time, it's sad because it's something that we continue to deal with. And as long as we do, we will continue to support the cause. Thank you. Absolutely. That's why I brought you up here.
I just wanted to mention real quick, can I move this? Part of the reason that we're here is for my friend Anthony Franzini, who passed away from cancer at age 12. In the meantime, his parents have been brave and many other adjectives that I can't come to my head right now. And they started a foundation called The Cure Starts Now. And this foundation is nationwide. However, they've started a local chapter here in East Central Florida. And all the money that's raised with this foundation goes directly to research for cancer. So the next time you give to any of these foundations, do your research, because a lot of the money is pocketed by the people that are in the top of these foundations, whereas The Cure Starts Now, 100% of their money goes to research. And we're not going to help these kids if we don't further the research. So having the money go to that is key. And so I urge you that when you do give, that you would research who you give to. Just don't throw money in any bucket. Look at these different foundations and see where their money goes to. Do your research. Just like anything else, it's worth your time to do the research. The second thing I wanted to mention was the Cure Starts Now local chapter that Jamie and Al started is having a bake fundraiser. Now, I try to help in everything I can, but I cannot bake, okay? So other people have baked. So I'm going to use my mouth and tell you about it. It's because I'm not going to bake for you. Anyhow, it starts tonight. It's a virtual, correct? A virtual online bake sale. It will go by pictures. You're going to bid on what you want, and there are some amazing things out there. And even if you don't want it for you, or you want it for later, you can do it like save a date for somebody's birthday, something like that, and all that money will be going to the Cure Starts Now local chapter, which will in turn go to research for pediatric cancer. So if anybody's interested, please check out the Cure Starts Now East Central Florida chapter on Facebook, and you will see all that information. And we would really appreciate any help that we can get. I mean, I'm asking you to eat sweets to help kids. Come on.
They're really sucking it up. Give me one more time the Facebook page again. Name again?
The Truth Starts Now East. Sorry, where did I get that from? It is the truth. The Cure Starts Now East Central Florida chapter.
We have an agenda for the evening with a lot on it. May I have an approval? Motion to approve the agenda for the evening?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for the evening. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda, item 5, public comments on consent agenda items. Anyone care to speak to the items that are on consent? There being none, may I have a motion in regards to the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda. I believe it's items 7 through 13.
We're 7 through 12.
I'm looking at the electronic version.
I only have 7 through 12.
On the paper
electronic.
version, on the one on,
I'm looking at the electronic version. Item 13 is comments and concerns from council members.
hang on here. Hang on. Item 13 on mine is approval of major special event request, Lighthouse Loop Half Marathon. On the electronic version.
Okay, that doesn't line up with what's.
I downloaded
Item
it
13
today.
on the paper version is item 12 on the column to the left.
What's on the website is exactly what you're saying.
roll up.
No, I see it. It's 13 here, but it's 12 over here.
Yeah.
It's misnumbered. It's just misnumbered on the left side. So yeah, thank you.
So,
Good catch, Drew.
7 through 13.
No, it's 12.
Okay, Robin, on this paper agenda, it says two different things.
The paper agenda is what we're going by, because that's the legal notice.
Okay. Oh, I see where the difference is. On number 9, resolution number 2133 isn't on the paper agenda. It's on the electronic one.
I don't know what you're looking at, but if you look at what's on the website currently, it's exactly what's on the written.
Okay, so 7 through
I just
12?
pulled it up.
Well, I just pulled, okay.
Okay, so what I'm looking for is a motion to approve the minutes of August 15th, August 17th, and August 24th. I'm looking for a motion to approve the bid contract items, A through F. I'm looking for a motion to approve resolutions 2133, 2134, 2135, and the approval of revised Sable Creek Traffic Enforcement Agreement, and the approval of major special event request. May I have a motion to approve all
Okay.
those things I
On
mentioned?
my paper agenda, 2133 is not on there.
2133 is not on your agenda tonight.
Okay,
Okay, it's on the electronic one. Okay, so items 7 through 12.
gotcha.
Move to approve consent agenda 7 through 12.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, I'm sorry, call the roll?
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bowser.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. It's been a little while since I've been able to say 5-0 on anything. That is terrific. Citizen participation, non-agenda, Darlene Kochendorfer.
Nice to see you back, Councilman Tremont, and nice to see you, Councilman Stiltner. Glad you were able to join in. I was here, apparently you're doing something with Halifax Humane Society and the TNR program. Anytime there's anything on the agenda regarding the TNR program, one of us is gonna show up. So I don't really have anything to discuss, but I wanted to let you know that I've been working closely with Officer Maxar and Lieutenant Aiken, and we seem to have a really nice rapport, but our program is not what it really needs to be, and a lot of that is because of COVID, and I understand that, but there are some things that need to be adjusted and things like that. It just doesn't function very well the way it sits, and I just wanted to let you know I really need every volunteer that you have needs to be utilized in order to make it function. So I had mentioned last time I was here, similar to your VIPS program, if there was a bunch of VIPs in your animal control department, that would be wonderful. Get a dozen people that can help you at midnight. They can help you anytime in emergency situations. We had an emergency situation last week. I managed to try to pull something off. You know, I don't know how well it's gonna work out, but I'm certainly trying. So I would love to sit down with whoever the powers that be to sit down and kind of refigure this and see if we can start over again and work something that really utilizes tax dollars very well and energy and effort. So if anybody would like to get with me, I would love that. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darlene.
Good to see you back.
Robin, I didn't have any others? Okay. Council comments. Chase, we'll start with you since we haven't heard from you in forever.
Sure, I'll be relatively quick. I just have one personal, one business. Personal, just a thank you for everybody, to everybody in the community. The amount of phone calls, text messages, posts, comments, meals, and prayers that have been sent to me and my family during this time. I assure you every ounce of those prayers were felt. I'm truly blessed to be here. Would not be here without that. So my tremendous thanks for this wonderful community, and for this council and everybody up here on this dais here. You guys are my friends, you know, Scott, Drew, Foley, and Mayor. You guys were there every step of the way, constantly calling, texting, praying. Consider you guys true friends. Same thing, Wayne, Matt, all across the board, and so many from the staff. Robin, the amount of text messages, I appreciate you. So nothing went unnoticed, nothing went unappreciated. So thank you. And at the same time, my heart goes out to so many that have been lost as of recently. It's been a tough time for this community. You know, I'm on the road to recovery. I still have some pneumonia in my lungs. It's not easy to take deep breaths, but I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to recover. So no matter how long that takes. So big thank you to everybody. Great to be back. The other thing is, just wanted to put in a request that I mentioned this to staff. I would like to see a presentation, a public presentation. I know we had some discussion in one of the meetings that I had watched. A presentation on how our TNR program is going, Wayne. If we can get that, I'd like to see a comparison from some data points of how we're doing now with as we're operating in-house versus how it was prior. And if you know, and I've made that promise to Darlene a while back that I would do that, and I'm curious as well. And if somebody could take the time to reach out to Darlene, you know, the amount of work she's done, the experience she has, would be nuts to try to assume that we're going to do it perfectly on our own without the advice and input from people that have been doing it for years. So that's the only request I have, sir.
All right. And what's your pulse ox number right now?
94.
All right. You didn't drop below 90 with all that. Jonathan?
Just really, first and foremost, very, very happy to have Councilman Tremont sitting next to me again. A lot of prayers went out and a lot of prayers were answered, brother. It means a lot to have you here. So, no, nothing really other than I know that Parks and Rec is getting ready to start fall ball coming up. I think it starts tomorrow actually for the kids. So, you know, make sure y'all are going out there and checking that out. And I'll be there with Noah, and so excited to see the season get started.
Nice.
Very good. Drew?
Nothing from me tonight. I'm good.
Scott, what you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo how great it is to see Chase sitting back up there. And I wish I was a couple seats down from you tonight to be up there with you, but I've got a couple more days left here in the quarantine, so just trying to do my part. Want to make sure I'm not passing this on to anybody, but I'm doing well, and I appreciate all the thoughts and the prayers, and just really happy to see Chase sitting back up there tonight. That's all I really got for you tonight.
See, I think you made this up. Just you made this up, Scott, just to try to one-up Chase. It didn't work, man. Didn't
Yeah,
work.
right? I know. Well, hey, what can I do? What can I do?
It-
That's okay. I'm willing to let him have that one.
Okay. Just for you guys always keeping score. I get it. I have nothing except for this, that Chase, we missed you, brother. I'm glad to have you back.
Good to see you.
We did punt on doing a town hall. We will reschedule that when all 5 of us can participate, because we want to hear from everybody on anything that's on your mind, and we haven't had one in a considerable amount of time. And it'll be the first of a number of things that we're going to do. So anybody who's not able to participate or has concerns about COVID with that, We'll try to do it as safely as possible, but it won't be your only chance. If you miss this town hall when we do reschedule it, there'll be others, and we're going to see to that. That's one of the things that we're going to be working on to help improve communication and allow us to be accessible to people, so I appreciate that. That's all I have for tonight. That leaves us into board appointments, interviews, and reports.
Mayor.
Before you move on, may I?
You may.
I had a submission online for public comments, and Lori Friend is here, if you're so inclined to.
I absolutely am, if council is.
Sure,
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you. Sorry
she's
to
here,
interrupt.
yeah.
While she's coming up, is there a for the fall ball first pitch thing? Is there a celebration or anything?
No.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see y'all again, especially you. I was praying for you.
Thank you.
Hi. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lori Friend. I see a new face up here. My son was killed here in the city of Port Orange. It'll be 2 years this September 25th. We are having a candlelight at the corner of Miles and Nova Road right there near Winn-Dixie. This month was also, not taking anything away from you, but it was also Distracted Driver Awareness Month here in the city of Port Orange. So we're going to start having some activities out on the intersections, making people aware to slow down. We had another motorcycle fatality this past weekend. Unfortunately, I was there. I did get a call to go down there. Some of the people like for me to keep an eye on what's going on with the traffic homicides and things. They did a wonderful job. They were out there doing what they needed to, what they said they would change policies and procedures to do, they were doing. So that, under the circumstances, made me feel that we had accomplished something. I also wanted to let you guys know that the FDOT, with them approving the road change, they are having a public hearing within the next 3 weeks. It should come up. They said by October, which is now. I just spoke to him last week, so there will be a public hearing, and then after that they said people have about 30 days, I guess, to comment if they want, and then it should move forward from that point. Now, I don't know at that point if FDOT can say, because it's been a 2-year fight to get this road changed, I don't know if at that point they can say, well, it is approved, however, we'll take it out of funds in 2 years from now. I don't know how that works, but we have gotten to the point where we can see the end of the final approval on that roadway. Yeah. So in honor of my son Ryan Friend, I would just like to say thank you all. You will be seeing us out on the streets reminding people, distracted drivers kill people. Put your phones down, put whatever you're doing down, and pay attention to the roadway. Because not only what you do does it affect you, it affects the person that you hurt and their family for the rest of their lives. You guys know the fight that I've put in to change a lot of things. And my heart's gotten a little softer since the beginning when I first came around. But my goal is still the same. Yeah. To make sure this never happens to anyone else in the city of Port Orange if we can prevent that. And I believe, like I did from the beginning, if my son saves a life or two, he would have proudly gave his life for that. I look at this as this is something that needs to be done in the city, and this is something that I'm going to do in the city. And you guys are going to see me every year, God willing, and you guys are going to see my family and my friends out at Miles. So I hope you guys can come out.
When
Quick
is it?
question for you. Yeah, I was going to ask you when the date was.
Yeah, when-
again,
what's the
and
date and
the
time for that
location and
candlelight?
time.
The candlelight is September 25th, which is a Saturday, at 7 p.m. at the corner of Miles Avenue and Nova Road. That's right near the Winn-Dixie, where his cross is.
I'm scheduled to be out of town that weekend, but if it falls through, I will be there.
Why, thank you, sir. I appreciate all your support as well.
You bet.
I appreciate all y'all's support.
I'll be there.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you. Hope you can all come.
Can I get my contact
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Absolutely. Robin, thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Item F, board appointments, interviews, and reports, planning commission appointees. We have the terms of John Junko, Maria Mills-Bonat, and Newton White that have expired. All three have indicated their willingness to continue to serve. along with an applicant, David Bagley. We have 4 applicants and 3 openings. Council, I will open nominations now.
I'd like to nominate the current 3, John Junko, Maria Mills Bennett, and Newton White.
I'll second that.
They've been serving great, and I don't see a reason to break up the team. They're doing a great job.
We have a motion and a second. All 3 current members have been nominated. Do I have any other nominations?
No, but I'll comment just, Mr. Bagley's resume was very impressive, and I'd like to see him continue to want to get involved. But we do have it's not a policy, but it's been a thing where we have good serving members on a board. We're not looking to take them off who are serving well, that have expressed a continued desire to serve. So this would be no disrespect to Mr. Bagley.
Absolutely not. Nominations, any other nominations? Last call. Nominations are now closed. We have 3 nominations. We have 3 openings. All in favor of reappointing Mr. John Junko, Maria Mills Bennett, and Newton White, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? There being none, all 3 of you will continue on the payroll such that it is.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you very much for your willingness. Public hearing portion of the meeting is now open. Second reading of ordinance number 2021-19. The recommended motion is to approve the ordinance 2021-19, amending Chapter 8, Article 4, and Chapter 58, Article 3 of the Code of Ordinances. Let me see here. Ordinance number 2021-19 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, amending Chapter 18, Article 4, clarifying what is a sidewalk sales event and proximity requirements to business. Chapter 58, Article 3, modifying criteria for major special events and adding requirements to permit neighborhood block parties as a minor special event, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-19 as the mayor stated.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The item's open and on the floor for discussion. Second reading. Comments, questions, council?
No, second reading. This would
I
make
see
sense.
none. Anyone care to speak to the item? Back to us, council. Final comments and questions? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley?
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont?
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Baxter?
Yes.
Mayor Burnett?
Yes, 5-0. Feels nice to be able to count to 5 again with our votes. Ordinance number 2021-20 is a 7th Amendment to the Bennett-Hammett Master Development Agreement and Consensual Development Plan. Ordinance number 2021-20 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, approving the 7th Amendment to the Bennett-Hammett a Planned Unit Development Master Agreement and Conceptual Development Plan, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-20.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The item's open on the floor for discussion, and it seems like the print on my screen is smaller than it was a few weeks ago. Everything's a little harder to read. Maybe it's, I don't know. Wayne, who's presenting on this? Oh, that's
Second
right,
reading.
Second reading.
Got the attorney
I
out
did
there.
say that too.
Yes, you did.
Mr. Posey.
Comments,
looks like he wants to
questions,
talk us
council?
out.
There being none, would anyone here care to speak to the item? I knew you would. I saw you out there. I knew you while you were here. Good to see you, April.
Good to see you. It's nice to see you too, Chase.
You as well.
Again, I'm April. I live in Bannock Hammocks, and Chase came out to our first meeting with what was going on, and we did get them to approve to lower the amount of people that were going to be there. Instead of having 13 townhomes, we now have 6 homes. Yay! The only thing that I would like to suggest maybe for the city to help us with is maybe put in some speed bumps. So that way it can create less of traffic flow and maybe the speed of the traffic flow as well. And maybe even consider, I don't know how to go about doing this, but the speed limit to be lowered from 25 to maybe 15.
You know, you'll have to slow down too.
Why?
Just saying.
There's no time to slow down. And that's all I'd like to add to that.
Thanks, Abe.
You're welcome.
Can you please do your first and last name?
Oh, yes, ma'am. April Blowers, Blowers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Back to us. Council, final comments or questions?
Is that, my understanding, just so she has a little bit of an answer, we have an ordinance that prohibits speed bumps in neighborhoods, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, is there anything that we can do maybe to look at the speed limit, to see if that can be addressed? Maybe it needs to, maybe it doesn't.
I can work with the police department on a speed study or analysis there.
Good call. Any other comments or questions? There being none, call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Silver.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Thank you, Joy. I have to remember there's that pause because somebody's not quite with us. There's that technology. Item 17 is the approval of the final plat and plans to subdivision variance and proportional fair share agreement for Woodhaven. The recommended motions to approve the final plat and plans for Woodhaven Phase 2 subdivision with subdivision variance to waive the requirements to provide a trash compactor or dumpsters in the townhome portion of the Woodhaven Phase 2 subdivision and approve a proportionate fair share agreement to the Woodhaven Phase 2 subdivision, subject to review and approval by the Volusia County of said proportion fair share agreement, and authorize the city manager to accept modifications requested by the county, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute all necessary documents. May I have that motion?
Move to approve the motion as the mayor stated.
Second.
Chicken.
I
We have a-
didn't feel the need to reread the entire.
Oh, why not? We have a motion and a proper second. The item's open on the floor for discussion. Who do we have here?
Good evening, Penelope
Hey.
Cruz, Planning. The applicant was requesting approval of the Woodhaven Phase 2 subdivision plat and plans to subdivide 209.9 acres into 229 single-family lots. I'm done.
That's it. Time's up.
Sorry, Penny. Time's up, ma'am.
Sorry. To subdivide the subject property into 229 single-family lots and 100 townhome lots, as well as the associated subdivision infrastructure. The subject property is currently vacant. It's had the PUD zoning on it since 1997. The proposed subdivision is consistent with the comprehensive plan as well as the Woodhaven PUD Master Development Agreement and Conceptual Development Plan. The proposed subdivision improvements include water and sewer infrastructure, private gated local streets, stormwater drainage infrastructure, common areas with tree and wetland conservation easements, and the 50-foot wide buffers along Williamson Boulevard as well as the western perimeter along Cypress Head subdivision. Adequate public facilities to serve the development are available. There is one subdivision variance request with the proposed plat and plans, and that is to waive the requirement for a trash compactor or dumpsters for the townhome portion. This is a requirement for any multifamily development over 20 units. The applicant is basically requesting to allow the townhome portion to be able to have curbside pickup just like the single-family portion. This is the same request that was approved by the council in 2017 for Phase 1 for the townhome portion, and there haven't been any issues. Waste Pros approved the request as well, so staff is recommending approval of that variance request. And overall, staff is recommending approval of the plat and plans as well as the variance request, as well as recommending approval of the transportation fair share agreement for Phase 2. Staff is here to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant's here as well.
Questions of staff? Council? Okay, why don't we hear from the applicant? That way we can get to the real grilling. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you,
How
Mayor?
are you? Good.
Dick Smith, ICI Homes, 6035 Sanctuary Garden Boulevard, Port Orange. With me tonight, James Stowers, Chief Development Officer with ICI Homes. Also answer any technical questions, I have Luke Kilich from Zev Cohen & Associates. I'm not sure if Bobby Ball's here or not. He has worked on the project as well. Don't really have anything to add, just to report to you that Phase 1 has done very well for us. The townhomes averaging about $325,000 per unit now, and the single-family homes about $500,000. So we've been very, very successful, continuing to improve your tax base, and we hope to do so with Phase 2 as well.
Okay. Council comments or questions? We really can't let you off this easy, but it seems like we are.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dick. Would anyone here care to speak to the item? There being none, back to us. Final comments, council? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley,
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont,
Yes.
Councilmember Stelter,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian,
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, by vote. And with that, the public hearing portion of the meeting is now over. Moving on, regular agenda item, item 18, first reading of ordinance 2021-22. It's these sequence numbers that get me. Oh man, that's even smaller. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Ordinance number 2021-22 is an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Port Orange by amending Chapter 58, Article 4, Sections 58-70, 58-80, known as the Port Orange Communications Right-of-Way Ordinance, providing intent and purpose, applicability and authority to implement, providing definitions, providing for registration for placing or maintaining communications facilities in public's right-of-way, providing a requirement of a permit, providing application requirements and review procedures, providing for bonds, providing for construction methods, providing for development and objective sign standards, providing for fees and taxes, providing for enforcement remedies, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Anything else you want to add to that, Mayor? That was a...
Why do you think I had to blow it up?
Okay. Move to approve ordinance number 2021-22.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. The item is open on the floor for discussion. First reading. Wayne, who do we have presenting?
The city attorney is going to brief you on this.
Okay.
So, Port Orange Communication Rights-of-Way Amendment, you've seen this once before in 2018. The state law was amended to basically take away some of the city's ability to regulate these communication facilities in your rights-of-way. So you saw a pretty comprehensive...
The 5G thing.
Yeah, pretty comprehensive piece of local legislation go through. The telecommunication folks didn't like that, so they went back to the legislature, and we ended up getting some more restrictions on what we could do. So this is really the city's response to that second round of state law changes that allows for these things in your right-of-way, subject to certain regulations. So this kind of pulls back some of the regulations that we already had in place, and it does create the framework for regulations that we are permitted to still do. So that's what you have in front of you today.
Matt, I gotta say, of all the things I had to read for this agenda, this is by far the most exciting. Not. Questions, comments, council?
Matt, does this apply to all right-of-ways within our city limits, whether they're municipal, county, or state?
It does not. We've encouraged the county to adopt the similar regulations. The state law is in place at the state level, but this does not apply to right-of-ways that we do not manage.
So HOAs included, private roads and HOAs included?
Does not apply to private HOA roads.
Okay.
Other questions for the city attorney?
Yeah, does this mean we're going to see more 5G towers or less? Because we have some now. I mean, I've noticed them in some areas.
The framework's in place. We don't get a lot of applications in this area. I'm looking for Lynn. I don't see. Have we had any 5G applications recently?
Depends on the marketplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Market's going to dictate, but this will put the framework in place for when they're ready to come to Port Orange. We'll have the ability to handle those requests.
Perfect.
Any other questions or comments? Would anyone here care to speak to this item? I had a feeling we'd see you for this one, Robert.
Mayor, council members, Robert Ryanhagen, 1425 Dexter Drive North, Port Orange. With regard to the bond requirement, the ordinance imposed the requirement of a permanent performance bond in the form of a cash deposit or letter of credit over industry objections. This was in addition to the construction bond. My concern is that there's no real explanation of why this was originally put into the ordinance. Why did we put in this performance bond or the what is it? It's a bond requirement, a permanent performance bond, and suddenly industry objects. So we've made a change. The city has made a change and deleted that. My question is, to what extent did the industry formally protest it? Did it get through some sort of arbitration or something? And what was the rationale for making the change, to deleting it? My major concern is that here we have industry making an objection and the city just caving in. And I'm very concerned about that because, when we talked about Riverwalk and the promenade, I perceive that the same thing's going to happen there. Somebody in the industry or developer is going to complain and we're going to just cave. So that's my comment. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Anybody else? If I'm not mistaken, this isn't industry lobbying us. This is industry lobbying the state legislature. The state legislature making the change and then telling us we have no choice to make the change.
The cities, so I don't want to, the fact is there are cities that are still trying to create a permanent performance bond by a different name. Mm-hmm. So right now there's some jockeying going on where cities are working on calling it something different, and then the state legislature's coming back and slapping that down. So, that's it's definitely a lobby at the state level that's causing these changes at the local level, and we just don't think that we don't think it will have any long-term impact if we were able to change it even for a year. We don't think that that's going to stay in place and still will be subject to industry challenge under the current preemptions that are in place. It just wasn't something we could recommend.
So we're reacting to changes in state law is the bottom line. Yep. Because they react to lobbyists. At least that's my opinion. Other council comments or questions? Call the roll.
Councilmember Foley.
Yes.
Councilmember Tremont.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bastian.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
I'm voting no because I think one of us needs to vote no to say, if nothing else, thank you, Tallahassee, for telling us what to do one more time. With that, additional items, City Attorney,
Nothing further.
City Manager,
Nothing further.
City Council Committee reports, River to Sea TPO. Scott, do you have anything for us?
I do actually. The last meeting really has been mostly about presentations. As you guys know, they are in the search process to replace Lois, and so that's underway. But really, an interesting briefing by John Cheney, who is the head engineer for Volusia County. Department of Transportation. And so I don't want to steal his thunder, but I thought it was such a good presentation that I did reach out to Wayne, and I'd like to get John Chaney on a future council agenda to come in. With so many county roadways and also county maintenance and control of our lighting, our traffic light systems and things like that, probably be a really good idea for us at least annually to have somebody like himself. And I understand he's not too far away from retirement, but we might as well catch him before he gets there. But I'd like to get him in on an agenda item to come in and give us an overview and a briefing on county projects and issues and concerns, very generalized type briefing for our particular region, not necessarily just the city of Port Orange, but in this southeast Volusia region, because so many of the things that happen in our city or near our city all kind of tie together in one way or another. So I just want to let you guys know that I've reached out to Wayne, and I would like to try to get John Chaney in to do a very similar briefing. And what I can do is I'll forward to Wayne, and he can forward that all out to you. But the PowerPoint presentation that he utilized in his briefing was really informative and good, and I'll get that to you guys so you can at least get a little bit of an overview before he comes in. So that's my thoughts on that. Other than that, it was just some other presentations on some different things that TPO is always looking at. Nothing further.
When you think about all the roads in Port Orange, we have over 1,400 roads at last count. Some of them maintained by the state, some of them by the county, some of them by the city, and some of them by respective homeowners associations and private holding. So that's one heck of a road network that we're all responsible for, that a lot of people have a different piece of.
It is, and Don, he some of the stuff that he broke down from a cost perspective, it's really good to hear it from him, because he tied some things in that really kind of bring home to you when somebody says, well, why isn't the Williamson Bridge 4 lanes, or why isn't that part of Williamson 4 lane, or it's just you think, how expensive could it really be? Well, let me tell you what, some of the costs and the numbers that he was throwing out, and then of course he would circle that back into the problems with funding overall. It's really something that we need to hear collectively as a governing body for our city.
Okay. Scott, appreciate it. The final item is it fire pension?
Fire pension, I think that's Scott as well.
Fire pension board.
Nope. Wrong councilman.
Who might that be?
So we had our meeting, last meeting was actually on August 16th, and the fiscal return to date is 20.7%. 20.7. Yeah, I'm taking all credit for this. That's this year since I was appointed.
Fiscal year.
Yeah, this fiscal year since I was appointed, it's up 20.7%. The quarter return was 4.6%. Fund balance is now just a little shy of 42 million.
Solid.
Something to note, just two things. Because of how this fund's positioned, we actually have made it where we've allowed them $500,000 to reallocate towards American Realty as it comes available. And also, because of what's going on with FRS, we have moved the expected rate of return down from 7.35 to 7.20. Just trying to make sure we're keeping up with FRS, so that way we don't all of a sudden get smacked with some unexpected liability. So, but that's it for that.
Good report. Thanks, Jonathan. Any other business come before us this evening? There being none, we get to do this again tomorrow night. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.